haven't made a YouTube video in so long. Hello from my squeaky chair. My name is Becca. I haven't made a YouTube video in approximately forever, but I'm gonna jump back into it with 20 things I learned in my 20s in honor of the fact that I am turning 30 this week. 20s are such a beautiful and horrible time. I do not wish to be in my 20s again. I am so excited for this next chapter. I just feel like it's a great time of learning. It's the first time you get away from home and you gain independence and you learn how to make rice and do your laundry. But I do not wish for that time again. So number one of my 20 things is that whole cliche thing of your brain is not fully developed until your mid to late 20s. I just look back to some of the decisions that I made and like couldn't make. I just felt so paralyzed for a lot of my early 20s. Like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to find myself, all these different stupid things. And it's literally because your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed. This is the part of your brain that's in charge of prioritizing and planning and making big life decisions. Why do we throw young 20-year-olds out of the house and say, hey, go figure everything out, go spend thousands of dollars on an education? It makes no sense. I understand now why I was such an idiot a lot of the times. Your body is beautiful. It is so perfect the way that it is, and if it is serving you every single day, love it. There's no reason that you should have your body look like somebody else's through a screen. First of all, it's probably modified. Second of all, their life is not your life. Circumstances are completely different, genetics are different, lifestyle, part of the world you live in. There are so many different factors into it, and I spent way too much time trying to make sure that my body looked a certain way, and it was just a huge waste of time. Next waste of time is trying to be somebody that you're not. I spent so many years wishing that I was funnier or smarter or all of these different things, and it's just stupid. Just embrace who you are. And honestly, I feel like that just takes time. Some people are lucky enough to figure that out a lot earlier, but I don't know. I'm glad to be who I am now, and I don't wish I was anybody else. And getting to that point is just such a good spot to be in. I'm so happy. You can make it through hard times and it will change you. My adult life has been nothing but change. Some of it by choice and a lot of it sometimes not by choice. The kind of constant has been change, and it's just constantly having to adapt and be flexible and figure out a new situation. And some of those periods were incredibly hard, like the hardest things that I've ever had to go through so far in life. You get through it one way or the other. You might come out a little more scraped and bruised up than you would hope, but you do get through it. You learn everything that you learn from it, and then you do heal and move on. But I do feel like a very different person in a good way. I feel a lot more capable and a lot stronger than I even knew myself to be. I was so fanatical in my 20s. Like looking back on it, I just have to laugh and cringe, because whatever I picked up on at the moment, whether that was being vegan or super eco-friendly, I would just die on the inside. If I ever made a mistake or if I watched somebody else do something, I'm a lot more relaxed about things now. I understand a lot more nuanced things, like what I'm doing somebody else might not be capable of doing right now. They might have a lot of other stuff on their plate, and there's no reason that I should be judging them for that. And it took me a long time to realize that, unfortunately. I still have a lot of passions and I'm a pretty passionate person, but I definitely have a different perspective on the fact that everybody has different priorities. Now that I'm 30 with 2 young kids, I have come to realize that having babies and raising children are 2 very different things. One of them is a lot harder than the other. And the other thing with child rearing that I feel like is a big thing that you should know, but I did not when I started having kids at 25, is that you do not get to pick out the child that you have. When you're young and having kids, you're very naive to the idea that, I don't know, I just thought that it would just be a copy and paste of me or my husband. But you are having a child that can be completely, wildly different than both of you. They're going to have different needs, and sometimes situations are a lot harder than others. Like if you have a high medical needs child or a kid with learning disabilities or self-esteem issues, like you just don't know what you're gonna get, and you need to be prepared that sometimes it might be harder than you were expecting. Take the time to foster the relationships that mean the most to you, because you have no idea how much time you have with those people. And at the end of it all, I'm starting to wonder if the relationships and the love that you have for other people and that they have for you is the most important thing in life. Diets are dumb. It's just a stupid way for other people to get a lot of money out of everybody else. Just focus on eating whole foods, less processed. Focus on getting lots of fiber. Like I feel like one of the biggest hacks is just to make sure that you're having a good amount of fiber with all of your meals. And I feel like that will fix so many problems. This might be controversial, but I feel like life on the other side of religion is better. At least that's what me and my husband have found. I just feel like things are a lot truer in the sense that I am making decisions based off of my intuitions, my feelings, my thoughts, and personal experiences, and I'm not trying to do it all for like a third party. Also, leaving a high demand religion, I just feel like it's made me question a lot of things in a good way. I don't trust corporations. I don't trust a lot of big things because I have come to realize that most things do have an agenda, especially if anybody wants money from you. Like, just take a step back and look at the motives and follow the money. Anyways, I'm a lot happier now than I was before. You don't need to find yourself and have all of the answers to everything. You still have plenty of life to live, and honestly, I just feel like you need more experience to be able to come to the conclusion for a lot of things. But when you're in your 20s, you feel this enormous pressure to have it all figured out and to find yourself, because this idea is so pushed in books and movies and social media and everything, and it's just not true for a lot of people. It takes a lot of time to figure out who you are and what you like and what you want your life to be like, and then to actually get it to that point. Sometimes self-care is getting the hard thing done. Having it looming over you does not make it any easier the longer you put it off. It just means that you can't enjoy anything until you get it done. And accomplishing it is a huge boost to your self-esteem, and it just makes you feel like you're on top of the world and you can get everything done. So stop putting off whatever hard thing you have going on right now. You can only control yourself. So it's not your job or responsibility to make everybody around you happy and have their feelings controlled, and vice versa. This is one that I'm still working on, but nobody can make you angry. I say this, but I'm not very good at it. Like, nobody else can actually control your feelings either. So if somebody is being rude to you or whatever, you could make the decision to just let it slide off you and not impact your day and not get upset about it. Am I very good about that? No, I still get angry at people, but it is something that I have learned and I need to continue to get better at. I am 30 and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And I don't think that I will ever have a specific thing, but I've come to realize that I don't need a certain title to feel validated. Like, I am very happy just living my life and existing and working on projects that I'm interested in. I feel like that is okay, and it's even beautiful when you take a step back from the whole rat race of chasing after your dreams and whatever. Take advantage of where you're at. This has always been a big one for me because I have bebopped all over the place. I've lived in Texas, Utah, New York, New Zealand, and Vancouver. Going along with that too is there's nowhere that is perfect. A lot of us have this idea that, oh, if we lived in this place then I would be so happy. There's a little bit of truth to that. If you're living in a place that's making you truly miserable, if you move somewhere else, it can lend a lot of happiness to your life. But in saying that, a lot of people think like, oh, if I just move to New Zealand, then everything is perfect there and I won't have any problems. That is so not true. Nowhere is perfect. Everywhere has problems. But going back to the original point, I really like to try to take advantage of where we're at, and I just really like to explore where I can. I try to take as many camping, hiking trips, drives around. Who knows how long you're going to have in that area, and I hate leaving a place feeling like I haven't seen as much as possible around. Next is don't wait. Don't wait for retirement. Don't wait for your husband to get home from work to go and do the fun thing. Just go and do it. Now is a good time to do it. We only have so much time on this earth, and you don't know how much time you have left, and so it's just not worth sitting around. There's that phrase, the time's going to pass anyways, so just go and do the thing. Whether that is going back to school for something you're passionate about, or going on a trip, or writing a book, or whatever it is. If you feel the urge to do it, just jump on it and see where it goes. One of the best things you can do for yourself in your 20s is to start budgeting and living within your means and investing. So just taking care of yourself financially, because especially when you're young and in your 20s and you just have so much time after that to grow your wealth, doing those little things can have a huge impact, especially the investing one. I know in your early 20s, especially if you're trying to go to school and you're making low income, it is really hard to do that, but even just a little bit here and there can make a huge impact. And just learning the principle of living within your means. So don't ever get a credit card and start overspending on it where you can't pay it off monthly. Get a budget tracker and sit down, and every single month you should be tracking your numbers and making sure that you are making good choices. Because there are so many people that I know that are still trying to pay off credit card debt and student loans and all these things that they couldn't afford, and now they're having to pay the consequence, and it hurts. Choosing experiences over things. So I'm a very minimalist person in general and a very under consumer, and part of that is just from moving around so much. But the other thing, I don't know, it's just being where I'm at now. Looking back on it, I'm so glad that I didn't waste a ton of money on a whole bunch of things, because things come and go. They break, you move, and you just dump it all at a thrift store or with a friend. things don't matter. And also your taste changes so much. So it's not worth a ton of money to invest it all in things, but if you spend it on experiences, those will stay with you forever. So going on the trip, going and doing the overnight backpacking trip with friends, that will always be worth your money. Even if it's a terrible trip, those memories will live on for the rest of your life. And also doing the experiences makes you grow as a person. Buying a new collection of something to have on your shelf does not grow you as a person. Do not give a single care to what anybody thinks about you. I have such strong opinions about this now, and it's something that I've learned a lot. I still have room for improvement. I used to be so self-conscious when I was younger, especially in my 20s and even before. I was just so overly aware of what people might be thinking about me, which is ridiculous because first of all, I have no idea. Second of all, it does not make a difference. If somebody that I don't even know is looking at me and thinking something about me, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to use this as an excuse, but if I didn't stop caring about that and I never started posting on social media, that would be a really sad thing because it is really scary to put yourself out there. And sometimes when you're filming something and other people are around, it takes a lot of self-confidence to be able to do that without wanting to die. And honestly, I still don't love it, but I will do it because I know that, again, what those people are thinking right now doesn't matter. But if I get that shot, it does matter to me. Anyways, obviously this can extend to every other part of your life too, not just social media. If you have any kind of dream that you're wanting to do, but you're being held back because you're scared of what other people might think about you, just stop that right there. Just go and do the thing. You can even keep it secret for a while if you want, but it doesn't matter. Invest and focus on your health. You are only getting older and it's just gonna get worse. Fitness is a big one. Finding what you like to do and trying to do that with any sort of consistency is only going to help and benefit your entire life. But even more so, like taking care of your teeth and your eyesight and your liver, like all of these things on your body, you only have one chance with them. If you don't take good care of them and you lose them, life is just so much harder and so much more miserable. Take the time to find what you enjoy doing, aka hobbies. I feel like, especially as me having had 2 kids and now that I'm on the other side of it, I realize that like all of my time and attention went into that. But now that I'm kind of coming up for a breath of air again, I realize that I don't know what I like to do anymore. I am trying to work on that because I think it is very sad. It's unnecessary to actually give all of yourself to your children. I think it's healthy for you and for your kids for them to be able to see you doing things that you enjoy and mastering something and just seeing that their mom has a spark and a passion for something, and it's just so beneficial for everybody. Don't be afraid to bring back old relationships. Everybody changes and they go through different things and sometimes people drift apart, but if you ever have the urge to contact somebody, just do it. Like, it doesn't have to be this huge thing to like reawaken a relationship or something, but chances are if you're thinking fondly about them, they probably think fondly about you. And sometimes just sending a message out of the blue can just really make a big difference to them and to you, and it's just a really sweet moment. I had such a problem with this. If I like left somebody, I felt like I could never talk to them again and that they were dead to me. But my husband actually is so good about this. He has no qualms about reaching out to anybody from any point in his life. Having watched that and just seeing the beautiful conversations that come about it, it has definitely changed my perspective on that. So that is it. Those are my list of 20 things that I came up with. Thank you for being here and watching, and I'll see you guys whenever I make another video. Bye.